Hey there, Coach Devin here. Let's talk 4-day work weeks. All right, 4-day work weeks sound pretty good to pretty much everybody. Everybody thinks, hey, that would be awesome. I only work 4 days, got 3 days off. Look, I'm the first guy that'll admit with it. I think it'd be great, especially in the summertime. I would love to work 4 days and go home or go to the beach or whatever, go on my motorcycle. I love motorcycles, like going to the beach. All those things, I would love a 4-day work week. There are some positives and negatives with that though, and that's where people are maybe falling off the wagon a little bit. So a 4-day work week doesn't mean that you work less. A 4-day work week means that you work actually more for those 4 days, and then you get to go home for 3. So looks like a 10-hour work day. The problem that I foresee with this, and it's just something that pops into my mind right away, is most people have a hard time concentrating for 8 hours. I own a business. It can be challenging to get people to concentrate and stay on task for 8 hours. In fact, there's a lot of studies out there that say people really can't concentrate for more than about 20 minutes before their mind starts to wander and they start to do other things. That is human nature. I mean, in the end of the day, look, I own a business for, quite a long time where I ground and ground and ground every day. A lot of grinding going on. And in that time, I'd see, 11, 12 clients in a day, and then I had to clean and all those things, because when you own a gym, you're wearing all the hats, right? You wear all the hats. And you know what? Those were hard. Like my first 8, 9 clients of the day, they're fun. I'm having a good time. Client like 9, 10, 11, and 12. Sometimes it's just client 11 and 12. You're grinding. You have to put in time. You got to work. I would have to concentrate to do my best work, because my best work would come effortlessly with the first 8 or 9 hours. After that, got a little harder. I got to tell you, it got a little harder. So I understand what a 10, 12, 14-hour workday is like. It's good in some ways because you make more money. And you know what? I have never been a guy who's afraid of hard work. For me, I grew up on a farm in rural Nova Scotia, Cape Breton. This is my shout out to Juggling, which is where I grew up. We moved from Chicago when I was a kid. And you know what? You worked. I grew up on a farm. My mom and dad expected us to work, and we worked. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, I take a lot of pride in the fact that if I have to grind it out and I have to do work, I will work. Period. End of discussion. Never had a problem with that. I don't know actually a lot of business owners who aren't like that. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to grind a bit. You're a grinder if you're an entrepreneur. That's just facts. However, the 4-day work week for staff, I think, can be harder if you're an employee or a contractor because of the fact that it can be hard to be engaged that long. 10 hours can be a long run when you're used to 8. Yes, there's a payoff on the back end, but it does mean grinding for a bit. And so that's hard for people. The second thing that springs to mind is this for me: what days are we closed? So, for example, you are now talking in a business situation, you have to split some shifts up. So say I have staff that only want to work 4 days. Well, I also have to cover, if I'm open for 5 days, I do have to cover that other day. I can't just close because not everybody's on it. So now you're breaking staff up, which means you're somewhat understaffed at times. It does make some challenges business-wise for people. I think for the business owner, it does get challenging. How do you make this work? So, if person 1 to 10 is off on Friday, well then 11 to 20 have to be there on Friday. They take Monday off. There's a lot of messing around with this to make it work better. I mean, I think those are some facts. Now, is that impossible? No, it's not impossible. In fact, there's some test projects going on right now in Nova Scotia where people are trying 4-day work weeks. I think it's great to try it out. I think we always should try to look at new things. Just because we've done something one way doesn't mean we know what we're talking about. That's just a fact. There's a lot of times in business, in politics, in schooling, whatever, that people will say, well, we've always done it that way. That doesn't mean it's the best way. It just means that you did it a lot that way. And that's okay, but maybe times have changed. A lot of people are going to work from home now. Those are facts. If I had a business where my staff could work from home and they got all their work done, I wouldn't care. Some people would have a problem with that because they're not used to it. This is It's a new change. It's a new thing. 4-day work weeks, similar situation. Is it work? Yes. Means more work. Means you have to stay on top of staff and make sure things are getting done. It means more time at work on those 4 days, but it does mean some time off. Is it workable? I think anything in reality is workable. Hey, we just went through COVID-19 coronavirus. We all shut down. Everybody went home. The world didn't end. Now, we do have to pay a lot of money back. There's no question about that. The CERB, all the bailouts that are going out, that money's got to go back. So, we're going to pay the piper at some point. It's not going to be fun. That's not a good time. Nobody's going to enjoy it. But that's the way life is. That's just facts. And everybody knows it, I think, at this point. I think long term, we got to think, do we need to reinvent the wheel? Is there a better way to invent the wheel? If there's another way to do it, will people have more time off? Will it make them more productive? Some people may be more productive in 4-day work weeks once they get into it. Studies don't always bear that out, but some people like to, work hard in that time frame. So it is possible. I think, honestly, it's a good idea to test run it. Let's test run it, see how it goes, see if things start to work, if things do work, and it is doable. Yes, there's some, messing around to do with business owners or, government, banks, whatever. They have to figure out who's in what day. How do you do that? You know what? But that's doable. You can plan that out. I think a 4-day work week, you have to look into it. You have to try it because there's new things all the time. Nobody thought 20 years ago, or 10 years ago even, that we all could work from home on computers and phones. It wasn't a thing. Nobody thought of it. But you know what? You can do it now. Hey, I can run almost my entire gym from my phone. I am taking this video from my phone. There was a time that I needed a big film, camera to shoot something with a tape inside it. Those days are past. So things do change. I think a 4-day work week, let's try it. Let's try a couple, let's try it with, like it's happening right now. The whole town in Guysborough, as far as I know, is doing, I believe it's Guysborough, is doing a 4-day work week. Let's try it out. Maybe it's workable. Maybe it goes the way you want it to go. Maybe, in fact, it's better than 5. And if it is better than 5, hell, let's do it. Let's give it a try. Because you know what? I know the term work-life balance gets thrown around a lot. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I own a business, had very little for a long time of work-life balance. I got divorced. That's how good my work-life balance was. I got divorced. However, you know what? At some point, you need to have that work-life balance because your family suffers. You suffer. Your kids suffer. Your brain suffers. Whatever. Let's try new things. Let's try it. You know what? If it doesn't work, it is nothing ventured, nothing gained. If we haven't tried it, we don't know for sure. So let's give 4-day work weeks a try. Let's not get negative right off the gun because maybe, just maybe, it's something that could work. Have yourself an amazing day, everybody. Don't fight the awesome.